Hello, everybody. Welcome to TELLI Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. I have a very special guest with me today. He is not only a Paralympic swimmer, he's a medalist, he's a fashionista, he is an author. And what did I miss? What else did I miss? He is a philanthropist. I mean, shall I go on, or you got me? Fill me in. Come on now.
You hit the big points. You hit the big points there. I think you hooked them. Thank you so much for having me, TELLI.
No, I appreciate you for coming on.
First and foremost, congratulations to you. TELLI fragrances.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, listen. This is about you today. So the people that don't know your journey and don't know where you come from and don't know, how far you've made it in life, tell us about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Well, we're in LA right now. I'm LA native. Grew up in Inglewood, City of Champions, right? So it's only fitting. Come on now, you know it's good. Grew up in Inglewood. Came up, my older parents, my mom is from Compton, came up in the generation before Compton started, really going crazy with gun violence and things like that. So still a more holistic, I would say, generation. So just older. My pops was from the Midwest, pro basketball. He tried to make it pro ball. Came to California to be in Hollywood, So when I was a kid, it's kind of funny. We would watch one movie, Coming to America, Coming to America. Everybody Coming to America. So my dad is the party at the McDonald's house when he does when, we getting married. And she's like, well, you didn't even ask me.
Right.
My dad is an extra in that scene. He's an extra in Rambo. So it was kind of cool growing up. To him, he's it's whatever. But to a little kid, to me, it's what you mean it's whatever? Right. None of my friends even got no extras in the movie, Right. So that was this was the house I grew up in, you feel me? And my block it was a good block, it was interesting. I think my parents just did a good job, but it was just a good block. I feel like I'm about everybody, but I definitely feel like I kind of got one of the, they got Leimert Park, but one of the last great black growing up experiences. Yeah. You feel me? It's and it was still a good mix. I had my neighbors, but a good Mexican presence in the community. So it was a good camaraderie. Everything just kind of felt real, almost how you want it to feel in a movie. So that's where I'm from.
and that's a good thing, because I always say to my kids, to my man, to my friends, to people that I know, it starts in the household. And that's where deeper rooted issues stem from. And that's where, mental illness stems from. And that's when good stems from too, where you can get motivated and do the things that you do in life. So where from your upbringing motivated you to swim? Where did swimming come up? Where did philanthropy come up? Where did author come up? How do you have all these attributes from your upbringing?
Yeah, really a lot of it, man, they get all the love because they deserve it. Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom. Swimming was not a choice. Swimming was not a choice. From 10 months old, I was in Mommy and Me swim classes.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. Can you swim?
I can swim. And my daughter
Can all the kids swim?
Yeah, all the kids can swim.
All the kids in the house can swim?
All 8 can swim. Literally, all 8
Can your man swim?
Can what? We're certified scuba divers.
Okay.
We outside in the pool outside. We're not outside in the streets. We in the pool.
Yep, I get it. Okay.
We got the pool
in the
in the backyard. We outside in the backyard.
I get it.
Yeah, not on the sidewalk, not on the street. We in the backyard.
Okay. That's good. That's a place
we
to
all
be.
could swim. My daughter was doing swim classes at 6 months old.
That's
so she was crying, but she was swimming. So
kids cry.
Yeah, and I'm they're born in the water, so I feel like naturally
Who is this woman? Who fed her my mind? Yeah, you got it. That's awesome.
We're born in the water, so it's naturally, easy, I feel like, to adapt the water. Now, with me, with scuba diving, it was a whole different story, because I come from a medical background. So I'm thinking, if I run out of oxygen,
you worst case
what
scenario?
What do I do? Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking a worst case scenario
got a whole
every
tank
time.
on your back. What if
right. Expect the worst, pray for the best. That's my mentality. So I'm if I'm thinking We going in the water 60 meters under. Deontay run out of oxygen before me because his lungs is bigger. He gonna want my oxygen. Right. What happens when we're under the water and we don't got no oxygen? You know, and that's like my panic. Okay. And then that's my anxiety coming in, and it's different learning how to scuba dive in the pool and then going in the middle of the ocean and you're like, all right, this is a whole open space of water, and
you actually all right. Sometimes I will say that's just having become this pro swimmer. Sometimes that's a privilege I forget. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, we in the ocean, 60 meters down. What if I do run out of air? I'll just go back up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even.
But you can't even go when you're.
You gotta level it out, right?
You gotta level out. Your ears have to pressurize, and I have an issue with my ears pressurizing. So like for the people that don't swim or aren't scuba divers, when you scuba dive and you go down, the pressure in your ears is almost like flying in the plane. You know, your ears get to popping, but worse and quickly. Quickly.
Like pushing on you, all that water is just pushing on you.
Too. It changes really quick. That's and like if you go too fast, your ears will bust, your eardrums will pop. So it's like I had that fear. So I'm thinking like medically, you know, related. How is this going to affect my breathing, my ears? I'm going to be deaf. I don't know what's going to happen. So and the one thing you can't do when you're in the water is panic because you run out of oxygen. So I just feel like, especially sat down with
pro swimmer TELLI swim.
You would think I'm the Olympic medalist.
I love it. No, this is way better marketing right here.
I can breaststroke.
Tell them all
freestyle. Come on, what are we doing?
Whatever. Scuba diving, whatever. I love it.
You know what I actually want to do outside of swimming? What is that? Skydiving.
You know what? I do.
Would you skydive?
Yeah, heck yeah, I would skydive.
Have you ever?
I actually haven't. It's been one of those things like, call me silly, it just got a little too mainstream for me.
Oh,
like so many people was going to doing it. I was like, even though I've been wanting to do it. If I do it, I'm definitely about to tell people I did it.
Of course. It's a bucket list type of thing.
It's a bucket list type thing, but I'm like, it's too basic right now. It's a trend. It's too trendy. And the trendiness turns me off. So one day, maybe I'll jump out of a helicopter. I'll go skydive out of a helicopter. That's like, okay, that's kind of different.
Yeah, it's not a plane.
It's not a plane.
Right,
You know, it don't matter where you jump out of a plane, but I would definitely do it.
Whatever I do when I skydive, I want to see a view. Like, I don't want to just go and where there's trees or just...
What's your environment? Like, you want to see like pyramids as you flying down?
All of that.
You want to
Pyramids,
see like the rainforest? What you want to see?
I don't want to see the rainforest. Okay, we got a lot of trees in Alabama.
Amen to that. Okay.
You know, we got good oxygen over there. I'm good on the trees. Sorry, babe, I love you, but I didn't see enough trees. I used to live in Washington State. That was enough trees too. So I'm good on the trees. Okay. I want to see like a tropical environment. You know how like in Dubai they have the palm where you can look over the palm
beautiful.
And see all of that.
They really nailed it.
Yeah, like I need a view. Okay. If I'm gonna go down and like peripheral visions and
like you want to have
views,
the sky map.
Yes,
now when I'm on the ground, trust me, I know where everything is.
Yes. But I don't want to see no like trees. I don't want to land into like bushes. No, I want to see like nice, good things.
Not land in the bushes.
Yeah, like I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to see no weeds. I don't want to see no bushes.
I get it. The beach, the Caribbean, Dubai.
Or even pyramids. Like I wouldn't mind Egypt.
Like some real like like would you skydive the Eiffel Tower?
I would do that.
Okay, so like the seven wonders of the world and Dubai.
Yes.
Okay, done.
7 wonders.
Dubai. Tourist agency, 7 Wonders of the World Tourist Agency.
Hit me up. Hit me up.
We were on the show together though, so don't just hit her up.
Exactly. There you go. So, okay, before we get into anything else, I just want to thank Who Has It. You know, we got to pay the bills around here.
Amen to that.
So, Who Has It has sponsored this episode with Jamal Hill today. They provide all of these amazing brands, Cookie Pop by Ryan Seacrest, Pop Stars. They also include a free sample of TELLI fragrances. If you have Who Has It or sign up for Who Has It, you can get a free sample of TELLI fragrances and all these amazing things. So sign up for Who Has It today. Okay, back to our normal programming.
There we go. I love it.
We had to cut the check real quick.
Lights are still on.
Okay.
We good.
So I know we left off on fashion and trendy things, and you don't like to follow the trend. I see you're a fashionista. You got your fit, combat boots, nice little jacket.
Just the simple things,
Where did the fashion come in play?
Where did the fashion come in play? I think it just came from growing up in LA. Going to school. I think that's just probably an American thing, right? We all went to school in grade school, and it was only a handful of just fly kids. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
For whatever reason, okay, not that I wouldn't buy you some Jordans or this.
Don't.
You know who got the fits or don't. And then it's also the people that they look clean, they're dressed, but the fits are the fits, right?
Yeah.
There's a status and then just things that go into that, values that go into that. And so just seeing it growing up, not really, my parents being older, not really having those values, you feel me? Oh, for sure, I was always clean, had good shoes, but it was some for $200, you know what I'm saying? Why? You about to grow out of it, and you know what I'm saying? A lot of times I was growing up with the too large stuff, kind of, so just kind of seeing it and then just working with what you got, you know what I'm saying? Because you still got to express yourself, right? It's still your art. You still want to, if you want to peacock, you want to vibe, you want to chill, you still got to match whatever tone you're trying to set for the day. That's just a people, society thing,
So when you put on outfits, do you dress how you feel for the day? Is that the look you go for? So let's say, for example, today was a little cold, chilly, but I want to chill. I want to be a chilly but swaggy vibe, or I want to, today I didn't feel like doing my hair, so I want to be turned down outfit vibe. You know what I'm saying? So
my life is my favorite video game. You feel me?
I know that's right. That's a great way to say it.
Fact. You know what I'm saying? So on my avatar, hell yeah, I'll be playing dress up.
I know that's right.
I'm going into the office today. You're gonna catch me in that young 3-piece if I so see it necessary.
3-piece suit,
you
not
just
the 2,
might.
not the 4, but
you
the 3.
You feel me? But if we doing a conference, I might keep it casual with no vest, just a nice little 2-piece. You know what I'm saying? But we stepping out here, we stepping out there. It's
so you dress for the occasion.
Yeah, 100%. And however I want to be in that occasion,
I know that's right. How the vibe you
whatever the vibe. It's the location, but I'm the person. So that's what it
So how does that tie into women in your life? How does that tie into relationship? How do you look for a woman? Are you dating? Are you single? Ready to mingle? Where are you at on the relationship
definitely.
status?
I think.
And do you consider how she dresses when you pick out a woman?
Well, word, I'll tell you this. We got to backtrack it. It's going to be maybe a little weird, maybe not. I don't know if people still call people mama's boys or not, but
I could tell that when you said shout out to mama. But
mama's boy. It's but it's for real, especially.
That's a great thing though.
For a man, you feel me? It goes without saying, and if it doesn't, that a man needs a real man in his life. You need that. There are certain things that you just can't do that attract women that are usually like your mom if you had a good mom. You feel me?
Absolutely.
And that's a beautiful thing. So, and again, obviously my mom taught me more my dad taught me how to treat the world. But my mom taught me how to treat women. You feel me? And so just shout out. She is my uncle say, we don't call him Jamal, we call him the mall. Cause that was my mama's favorite place to go, still is.
The mall.
The mall. You feel me? She got more clothes, shoes, than she could ever wear in her life probably, So that was just kind of where the fashion element came in. And then me, I'm a long-term guy, So I like to get in things and really just get comfortable, feel it out, and that's just kind of how I roll. So I've been in a long-term relationship for close to 10 years almost now.
That's amazing.
Close to 10 years. Dope. But I mean, not without ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? Not without, I'm a young man,
right.
So.
And you know what? I tell people all the time, relationships are what you and your spouse are willing to tolerate and willing to compromise and work through. It's not going to be peaches and cream and rainbows and pots of gold all the time. It's going to rain, and how you guys adapt and compromise and work through your problems through that rain is when that rainbow comes out. And I just 100%. Feel when you're with someone long enough, you end up knowing all right, I'm not going to pick a fight this time. Right. You pick and choose your battles.
You pick and you learn.
Yeah, you learn. Exactly.
And you've gotten through in my belief, at that point, the longer you're with them, however it sounds, you've gotten through the worst of them.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, full on, whenever you start something, you don't really know what you're signing. You know what you think you're signing up for with anything in life.
And in the beginning, it's always the honeymoon phase. Like everything is like smiles and butterflies. And then it's like, you know, months in, you like, God damn it, this motherfucker is getting on my nerves.
That right
like,
there used to get me in trouble. You know, like I was saying, I even see that like in a yada. A lot of men in general, but even just like a young man, it's like they don't realize, you know, that addiction goes beyond drugs. You know, addiction goes 110%. Beyond. Like, man, I'll tell you, personally, I was addicted to that. And I think a lot of people are addicted to that new honeymoon stage. Yeah. And so it's like, you want that. And as you know, it's almost, I'm sure you've heard it. A lot of people like just want to press the repeat. Mm-hmm. Like replay. Let's I'll mess this one up. Like, let's just restart. Right. And so you just restart. But yeah, that's interesting actually. That is you got me over here reflecting on my personal growth. I'm like,
yeah. No, it's facts. And we all grow, you know, especially in a relationship because everyone's different. You know, like a man is different than a woman. Yep. What your wants are and what your needs are different than your woman's wants and needs, and vice versa. Yep. So it goes back to the compromise. Mm-hmm. It goes back to your upbringing. Yep. It goes back to how you were raised, how your mother treated you, how your father treated you, if you had them in your life or not. You know, like that all falls. Yeah, so it all falls into your relationship when you get into a relationship. Yep. You know, like you see your parents have been together, so you have long relationships. There's people that don't have parents that are together, so all they know is to continue to break up with people. So it just stems back to that deeper rooted issue.
That's what you were saying earlier. That it all
everything. The way you act, the way you move, the way you treat your kids, the way you have your spouse, all goes back to your upbringing, like deeper rooted issues.
Shout out to mom and dad.
Shout out
to the whole community, the whole block, especially you, mom and dad.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about philanthropy.
Okay,
like
for sure.
how you got into philanthropy.
Yeah.
What made you get into philanthropy and all that good stuff? Why is it a passion of yours to teach children how to swim?
No doubt. I think it's, again, I'll take it back to childhood since that's the theme here. Shout out to my dad. Really did teach me a lot of good stuff, you know. So we'll have to tell you some things, but like shout out to mom with another quote here. She was like, growing up, listen, Jay, people never gonna remember how smart you are, or probably even like what you look like. They will always remember how you made them feel, though. Mm-hmm. You know, so that was always I worked to keep that a tenement in my life. And so once I pretty much had come out of this like proverbial disability closet, you feel me? And I was out in the world as a person living with disability, even though maybe
and you didn't know that either.
Oh no, I knew what was up. Maybe not to the extent, like I didn't read the doctoral thesis on what the disease was, but it's like anything, you live with it, you feel me? Like if someone's living with cancer, they don't need to read a whole cancer book to tell you what cancer is like. Right. You feel me?
Go through it and learn.
Like I live it. I'm one of those people, like, massive respect for the medical community. My uncle's orthopedic surgeon, you name it. Like, so when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a pediatrician in some ways until things change. But like, I almost, to a certain degree, just for the, you know, I think for the mind, a lot of times reading is very good. It's important. You feel me? But like, certain times, you know, I just think that kind of people's intellect can poison their ability to sense what is more than just our mind. Like it can poison the body, it can poison the spirit. And so I say for me, I think that like not reading all these histories and things of all these things are like my lifestyle and my life quality of life, all these things could be, they didn't put me in a mental box. Right. Right. Like my level of belief has now been limited to, quite frankly, what another, you know, non-infallible individual with this paperwork behind him has said. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that was just kind of, that's how that framed up for me. And so all that coming together, I'm now a pro swimmer. I've won, you know, some medals. I won a national championship. I'm on a podium, and this is like 2018.
So when did you? I'm gonna stop you. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but when did you know that you? Okay, I'm gonna take it all the way back.
Oh yeah. We rewind.
CMT. Okay. Explain to the audience that don't know your journey. Okay. What CMT is.
Absolutely.
And when you knew, and when your parents told you.
Okay.
What it is.
So CMT is an acronym for Charcot-Marie-Tooth. It's named after 3 French scientists who discovered. I will say there's a growing faction of people every day that are, what do you call it? They're like, they're marketing, they're campaigning to have the name of the disease called the Hill's disease.
The Hills?
Hill's disease.
Hills?
Yes. I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is the, like, I guess the synchrony
to name it a Hill's disease? Yeah, at first I didn't get it. I'm like, why would we change the name? And they're just like, I never met Charcot-Marie-Tooth, but this guy, Jamal Hill, is just making it.
I am weak. I was trying to find the correlation here. I forgot. Did I mention he was a comedian too, y'all?
Part-time. I'm not for hire. But no, seriously. That is actually a true story though. I'm not on the bandwagon just yet. But there is a growing faction of people. So if you think that's appropriate, I would say go ahead and do what you believe in.
Oh wow. That would be amazing.
That would definitely be interest, right? Kind of like the new Lou Gehrig.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So it's been done.
That would be amazing.
So but either way, I think just like being the example is more amazing. So I say I'm 10 years old, right? So from 10 months old, I'm in Mommy and Me swim classes. Great childhood, sport, you name it. Swimming is my primary sport. I joined the swim team around 6 years old in at Westchester YMCA, just getting it, obviously a multicultural environment.
Right. I'm
going to all Black schools, and then after school programs are pretty much swim practice, and so that's like predominantly white environment, Indian, but we're kids, you know what I'm saying? Like kids really don't know color, it's not, we're people, we're kids, we like doing the same stuff at the same time,
Absolutely.
right? So it's love, so everything is beautiful. It's innocent, like, you know what I'm saying? It's how we all imagine, right? What if we could only get it back? But either way, all this is happening, and around 10 years old, I got to stop swimming, right? So my shoulder starts dislocating. So it's like if you ever seen Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, old boy could dislocate his shoulder and he would bang it into the wall.
Right.
So I could do that. I didn't need to bang it into the wall, but I could like butterfly during my arm pretty much,
Wow.
And
was it painful though?
No, it was not painful. It was not painful. And it, again.
So when that happened when you were 10, because I have a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and you name it, kids is like on the list.
Something wrong.
So when that happened when you were 10, did you panic when it happened? Or did you was like, oh, my arm just popped out of place. Let me pop it back in place.
Yeah, it was like, I knew it was up. I could do it. I actually was showing it off to my father.
Like it's almost like a double jointed hand.
It's like a double jointed type thing.
Yeah,
it was like, you feel me? Like I don't know. I felt like I was a smart kid. Like just smart in the sense of like, I think I know about what's going on in my body.
Right.
Like smart like that. You feel me? So I'm like, no, it's fine. Like it's no pain, nothing like that. But it's my father still, so respect what the man says. We got to get that checked out, son. That ain't normal.
Right.
Boom, go to the doctors. Doctors hit him with like, to this day, probably, just some of the most wildest shit I ever heard in my life, quite frankly. Like, this kid, he's got to stop swimming. This like is a severe dislocation. I'm not a doctor, so like take my opinion with a grain of salt. And unless he stops swimming and like we put his arm in a sling for the next 8 months, mind you, I'm right-handed, we will have to amputate this arm. And I'm sitting here as a 10-year-old kid. I remember, I'm like, bro, this has got to be the most asinine shit I ever heard in my whole life.
And it wasn't painful. So it's like, why do I have to sit here and be in a sling if I'm not in pain and can pop my shoulder back in place?
Right. So, but at the same pace.
So did you ask, like, did your parents ask the doctor that? Or did you say, hey, doc, like it didn't?
Nah. I grew up in the house. Like, you could speak up, but like a child has its place.
Oh, 100. I'm Black too, so we know.
You know what I'm saying?
So I get it. But I get it. But you weren't like, Dad, like, it didn't. Because I know I wouldn't probably tell the doctor that, but I'd be like, Dad, it doesn't hurt. And I've done it multiple times and I don't feel...
I think that actually is a really powerful question because I actually haven't put too much thought into that aspect of it. Like I know during the time, I don't know, it was just like I felt like it wasn't right, but it wasn't to the degree that I felt like I had found my voice necessarily, even with my parents.
You're still
in a lot
young,
of ways, right?
Absolutely, so you're still 10.
It was just like, this is what they said we doing. They look out for me for everything else.
Right. And they're your parents, and you know to respect them. Like, absolutely.
That's it, So
So when your dad was like, it wasn't normal.
Yeah.
You went to the doctor.
Exactly.
The doctor was like, this isn't normal.
Pretty much.
And you have to treat it.
Boom. I'm like pigeonholed for the next 8 months, right?
So 8 months?
It was like 8 months.
It wasn't like 6 to 8 weeks. Because usually when you get surgery.
No. This was a severe inconvenience to my life.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was
that's
like
a long time.
That's a long time. I'm like, again, we'll talk about that later, but either way, I don't have kids, right? So it's like I don't have kids. Personally, I don't really know what that experience is like. You feel me? So no judgment. There's life, right? We all got stories. So either way, I'm in this sling. Some good things come out of it. I get some ambidexterity. I got to learn how to write with my left hand. Start playing basketball, just practicing with my left hand, you know, like having fun, still living life. It comes into Thanksgiving in that same 10-year-old year from my life, right? And we're driving out to Valencia. That's where Six Flags Magic Mountain is. We're going out there for Thanksgiving dinner. I'm in the back seat, right? I'm still 10 years old. So it's only me and my dad. Mom stayed home. Go figure. This happens when mom's not around, right? But, you know, I'm in the back seat. I fall asleep. I wake up. My arm is asleep. My right arm is asleep. No big deal, right? We've all fallen asleep and like, oh.
You was thinking it was sleep, but it was numb.
It was just sleep. Like, it's numb, right? Like, I've sat on my hands, right? We've all felt the sensation.
And you're 10. That's what you know at 10. Yeah.
It's not like
you're not thinking severity, anything. Right.
Like none of that. So, okay.
And the whole time your arm was in a sling, it wasn't painful though.
No.
At all. Painful. It was never a time where it was painful.
I mean, I think, again, like, you know, I'm trying to think back. 20 years, a little bit, retell my story the way it should be told. But I probably at one point there was some discomfort. Just immobilizing something is always going to have implications. So, but no, it wasn't painful. Like I didn't come to my dad like, hey, check this out.
It was tolerable.
It was, I wasn't like, don't touch it. Like, no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. So that was that. So now it's out the sling. I'm back to life. Wake up, it's asleep in the car. Okay, no big deal. I get out the car, right? I'm outside. We in the backyard with the cousins. Playing, but I get this overwhelming sense of lethargy, right? I feel just so tired even. I don't even know what's happening. So I just go and I lay down in the treehouse. Everybody's running around. And I just keep feeling more and more tired, the strangest feeling. And it feels like this numbness is not waking up. It's actually spreading, it feels like. It's spreading. So I lay down for like an hour and a half. Boom, dinner bell. Everybody come inside. So we come in. I sit down at the dinner table.
And how long was that numbness like?
This numbness has now been going on it's been spreading for about 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's been spreading for about 2 hours since I was conscious. So now I'm sitting at this dinner table and it just kind of all hit at once. And I looked to my dad, really almost how we're sitting here now. I looked to him, I said, hey, I can't pick up my fork. And you can just imagine, what face do you even make to that? What are you talking about?
Right.
He quickly realized I was being very serious, though.
Right.
And at this point now, it's like, it just kind of hit. I can't even stand. I can't even walk. So, boom, big burly guy scoops me up. We go to the local hospital. They run some CAT scans, inconclusive. Hey, you got to go to Children's Hospital. You got to go right away. So, we go there.
And they didn't know what was going on.
They had no clue what was going on, right? Because it's neurological, right? So like a neighborhood facility is not gonna be equipped for that type of speciality. So either way, we go to Children's Hospital, boom, get admitted. And ended up spending like 3 weeks there. It wasn't a bad experience just because, like, again, my parents were there. One of my favorite uncle in the whole world was an orthopedic surgeon.
Surrounded you, absolutely.
And so, like, he's in there too. One of my other uncles is, he's like a more naturopathic doctor. Like, they're coming in, they're having conversations with the doctors. So it's like cool, but it's also a little bit of like a lab rat feeling too.
Right.
You feel me? Because they got like things called spinal taps.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's really this big, but from my memory
it's not comfortable.
It's big, you feel me?
Yeah,
so it's like going into your skin, the big MRI machines.
Mm-hmm.
I was hella claustrophobic as a kid. Like, it would just give me, like, I don't like being strapped down in a confined space.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think no kid does.
Yeah, like, right. Well, there you go then. I'm glad it wasn't just me. They need to, I don't know, figure it out better. But that's pretty much how I went. And so I kind of in this most inflamed state for 3 days, I'm only able to talk and move my head. Like, I can't move my hands.
So for 3 days, you were in like almost like paralysis.
Like, I was in paralysis pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I was
at 10.
At 10 years old.
And from the first time, you almost like dislocated your shoulder, not knowing what it was. And then it was just like complete change.
Exactly. And that's kind of, you know, we tie those two now. That was like, you know, I feel like that was an early kind of, just like not so much that it was about the dislocation, but it was just about the disconnection in the body, right? The neurological connection, even not being able to sense something like that, whether or not it should have been painful, you know, we've kind of linked those. So it's interesting, right? So, I mean, pretty good, friendly disposition. I really wasn't too worried about it. I don't know why. It was cool, you feel me? Like, we was having good meals, you know, it was just like, what do you do when you just kind of in that moment in your life? Like, the older you get, I feel like the easier it is to experience real pain.
Right. Absolutely.
Like the older it is, the more capacity, the same way you have more capacity to really love, you have more capacity to just really endure, you know?
Absolutely.
And so as a kid, it's like, I'm not trained in suffering.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah,
so
you're a kid. You're meant to enjoy life. You're innocent.
Cool. Like, I'm just sitting
My parents are going to be here. I'm going to get through this.
It's a vibe.
It's
not hellacious. You know, it's like building character at the most, maybe, right?
Absolutely.
Don't really know what's going on, but I'm also just...
I'm here.
Glory be, I'm here.
Yeah, let go and let God. Absolutely.
Woo child.
Woo child. Woo child is right.
So I regained, you know, I started going through physical therapy, spent about 3 weeks, and it was really interesting. All this happened from Thanksgiving to Christmas. So I'm a kid.
Right.
Poof, I'm gone, but like low-key, everybody is gone. So I'm not even missing. And then coming back on the scene, it was just pretty much this secret. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is missing. I don't fit this stereotype of disability, but now I've got 0% nerve capacity from my knees to the soles of my feet. So it feels like I'm walking on my knees at all times.
Oh, wow.
And then 30% from my elbows to my fingertips. So
was that something that you had to go to therapy for to learn how to walk?
Yeah, we definitely did therapies in the hospital. We didn't take it too much out of the hospital. One, I think just like having strong, like I had both, I just told you, athletic parents, you know? So obviously the genetics that I think played a part in just my body, but also really strong, like mental, spiritual, wise parents, right?
Absolutely.
And so when it came time for the doctors, hey, we know what this is. It's called this, this, and this. Hey, like, this is going to be the quality of your son's life right here. This is what he can expect. You know, my parents, my mom being like, yeah, listen here, if you ever tell my son any of that, I will literally come back here and burn down this whole hospital.
Right.
With you inside.
Right.
I'm raising a young black man in this world. Don't you ever come around here talking about he can't do nothing no kind of way. He got enough. Thank you. And so that was how it ended. I had this experience, obviously. I know something happened. Literally, I'm living in a new body now, a completely new body. But it's like, I don't get a name put to it. I don't get an explanation put to it. It's like, yeah, nah. I hate to say it, like, sweeping it under the rug, it has a time and place. It always has consequences, but it has a time and a place.
And so our eldest daughter has spina bifida. So I feel like when you hinder, and everybody, like, I'm not one to tell people how to raise their kids because I don't want that to be a thing because everything is always a thing.
That's a fact.
But I feel like when you hinder a child that has a disability or that has something that is outside of what we as society dictate as normal, it almost makes it almost like you're babying them to feed into that disability as opposed to taking them out of that disability, knowing that they can grow from it instead of just deteriorate.
Right.
And I feel like once a child knows that, you know, they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to do this because I got a disability, so the person that's normal can do it. Or you know what I'm saying? So it almost takes them into that like as an excuse instead of a motivation factor. So like I commend your parents for doing that and not a lot of people would. So shout out to his parents for real because like I just feel like I would hate to have that be used as something that is a crutch.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's like, I know so many people that have extra needs that don't want the help. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know, I know Zion Clark, you know, he would never be like, hey, help me up this chair or, you know what I'm saying? Or like, help me do this or help me do that. Like he got it. You know, it's a motivational thing it's almost like say I can't do it and I will do it type of situation,
exactly.
you know? And it's like, don't give me help unless I ask for help situation. So I just feel like that's just, I truly commend your parents for doing that because it just made you who you are today.
There you go. That's what you've been saying this whole time, right? It started in the ground, baby. We got good soil.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when did you start swimming again?
So 10 years old, right? I'm back. I'm playing basketball. I'm doing things, whatever. I go to high school. I transfer into a school as a sophomore, and they have a swim team. Boom, I joined the swim team. I'm swimming maybe like 3 months out the year, you know, not enough to really be professional, you know, but it's just like a love. I do it a little bit more as a junior, senior. I win pretty much like the league title. I missed CIF by a little bit, mainly because I was like scared. They give me a chance to race again because I won the league. So I could have did another swim and maybe made it to state. But I was like, hold on, I did something the fastest I ever saw in my life. And now you want me to do it in front of everybody with just me in the pool and they gonna know if I make it or miss it? Nah, I'm gonna pass.
What was the time frame of that?
Like, what year was this?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like you just swam the fastest you had in your life, and then when was the next race?
It would have been like, I would have had like over an hour. It would have been plenty of time to rest. It was just like fear.
But that's still, swimming takes up a lot of energy.
It definitely takes.
Like, I can swim the pool back and forth, and that's how we tested the kids to swim the pool back and forth, and they like breathing like they ran marathons. And I'm like, you just did one lap. Enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it is time to recover, but it is a lot of energy used.
That is true.
When you're doing laps.
That is true.
To a regular person that don't swim. Like, let me tell it, I'm a professional swimmer too.
Good,
you know what I'm saying?
But trust me, in this moment, I just like stay on this frame because it was a real growth. It was a real heart moment for me.
Absolutely. It was pivotal.
It was pivotal. After that, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I told my pops about it and he was like, yo, if ever in life you earn the opportunity to do something, you don't need to let fear dictate whether you try or not.
Absolutely not.
So that was, there we go.
And
now
fear never stopped you, And fear never stopped you before.
Never
so why
stopped
let
me
us
before, right? Now I'm getting nervous.
And why get nervous when you on top?
Exactly. She gets it.
All the way. I'm a mom.
She gets it.
I'm a mom.
That's lovely. Yeah. So after that, boom. Okay, sounds good. All this time though, I'm swimming as a love, as a passion, but it's like, again, everybody. Who's the last mainstream swimmer you heard of?
Michael Phelps.
There you go. So it's like growing up, even that being something I love, in a lot of ways, I don't even have an example of this being a real profession. Like when people say pro sports, you could be an Olympian. Olympian ain't a professional athlete. Like to me, where I grew up, a benefit of being a pro athlete is being able to live the life you want to live.
Absolutely.
You're being paid comfortably. Yep. You good. But like, that's not benefits. The reality, right?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people don't know how the Olympics works. Like you don't get paid to be an Olympic medalist.
Nah.
You make the money after the Olympics, not during the Olympics. Like people train for the Olympics, spend money to get there and all of that type of stuff. Like people need to understand that. Yeah. Like, it's costly.
Yeah, it's like
it's not something that's
it's like
just
a real
cheap.
It's like a real exclusive lotto. It's like you can't just go and buy this thing. You got to do a ton of it. You got to be the biggest investor in the world just to get this lottery ticket. But even once you get it, it's still a lottery. You feel me? Like I know plenty of people who win gold medals. They go win 4 gold medals. That's $30K a piece. Guess what? It stopped there. So what? They just pretty much got minimum wage for the last 4 years.
Right. And not to mention, they got to get trainers, they got to get nutritionists, et cetera, et cetera. So the money spent is not,
for the last 4 years for everything that it took. Then a lot of times people are not able to pay for those things so much up front. It's coming with this almost, in the sense of a fantasy, a fanatical promise that it'll come back if we not only win a gold or a silver or bronze or have a big enough brand, or we're even it's a lottery ticket, So in my mind, not so much consciously, but subconsciously, I'm like, my cousin's like, oh, you're going to go to the Olympics one day. You're going to be this, da-da-da. Like, that's probably not me. Like, I love swimming. I only want to go to a college that has a swim team. Right. I'm a smart kid. I got some academic scholarships, but turn them down. They don't got a swim team. What you want me to do? I'm not interested in going to a state school. So I'm going to go for broke type of guy. It's like, I'm going to get what I want, or I'll go to community college and swim there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's all
but you got to swim.
I got to swim. That's it. With no real plan, though. Just like, I got to swim. So long story short, my homie gets a football scholarship. After I graduated high school, I talked to some coach in Northeast Ohio, Hiram College. So I'm like, planning on going to community college. She's like, boom, you want to come and swim? Come and swim for me. Say less. So I fly to Northeast Ohio, sight unseen, start training there, swim there for, freshman, sophomore, junior, mind you, all this time since 10 years old. Charcot-Marie-Tooth, I'm living with this. I'm overcoming these challenges
and
daily.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Wow.
Like the people who was on the scene at the hospital are the people who know.
Right, and your parents. And you.
They were there. That's what I'm saying.
It. The
uncles, the mom,
your family.
dad, my family that was there, that knew that. So it's
nobody in school, no friends.
Friends, girlfriend, this cousin over here, coaches, teachers.
So how long was it until you hid that from?
Yo, it was 12 years.
Wow.
From 10 to 22.
Wow.
Yeah, from 10 to 22. So I finished college in 3 years. And I decided to, take a gamble on myself. I wanted to be a pro swimmer at this point.
Right.
I had enough experiences. I had like a real big heartbreak, believe it or not, it sounds corny, with swimming that year that I finished school. And I'm like, wow, I care so much about it. Obviously, I might as well just try and make this my profession.
Right.
Worst thing that can happen, I got to do something else, Right. So boom, just go ahead, go down that road. And now I'm swimming. I fly back to SoCal. A real kind of Rudy story. I show up at USC, sweet talk to coach and letting me practice there after some failed attempts. He's like, all right, this kid's got heart.
Right.
Now I'm smart, I'm asking questions. I'm trying to get better. This is my life. My life is on the line in my eyes, right? It's like, it's my life. These dudes don't got nothing to lose, So I do that for a year. I don't get much better. And then I go to a meet at a rival, no doubt, at UCLA. And I meet this little Asian lady. And I meet her through one of the athletes and I tell her, I'm trying to make it to just Olympic trials at this point. My goal is to make it to the Olympics, right? Can you help me? She looks me up and down. I'm a physical specimen. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of why it's kind of trippy. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh, we can do that, 100%. And, obviously let me tell you, the only thing rarer than a black man professional swimming is a Chinese woman professional coach. So, you feel me? We got the whole Karate Kid vibe, you feel me, cracking down. And we get together for a year. And we're working and she comes to me. She's like, yo, something's not right here. Like the way you dive, but it's not a real dive. You kind of fall in. You're not getting much better. The way you pick your legs up to get out of the car, you remind me of some of cerebral palsy patients I used to work with in the past. I'm like, yo.
She knows something.
I feel seen. You feel me?
For the first time in
12 years.
And that's when you were 21.
I'm 22 now.
22,
so
okay.
12 years. So I'm like,
and you were with her for a year.
I've been with her for a year.
Before she
picked up on it, right?
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, yo, I feel seen. That was the whole thing. I never wanted to be the kid that was making excuses.
Right,
like, if you can't see it, and I'm trying to sit here and convince you.
Right.
No, like, oh, hey, Jamal, can you? I'm going to do better. I'll try better.
Right.
I'll fix what I can.
Motivation.
Boom.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I just never wanted to be the kid with excuses. The person with excuses, right?
Right,
so
absolutely.
I'm like, wow, it's funny that you say that. I got this thing going on, right? And so I opened it up to her.
So you told her.
I told her, yeah. I told her. I didn't have like the finer details, but I'm like, yeah, I got this type of more or less, right? Like, and so we get into it. She's like, wow, well, unless we can cure this, instead of going to the Olympics, maybe we should start looking at the Paralympics. Right. Time out. Because she forgot who I was.
Right. Now you categorizing me.
Jamal Hill.
Right.
If there's something, nothing's wrong over here. Like, nothing I can't do. Now, this whole like, you're pretty much challenging this identity that I built.
Right, absolutely.
And this identity says that there's nothing wrong here. Like, I'm pretty perfect as it gets, right? However that manifests in my thinking. So I'm offended now. I'm like, yo, respectfully, don't ever say anything like that to me again. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I'm living, a lot of people with CMT are they either have like AFOs, which is an acronym for a device that kind of looks like a leg brace, pretty much. Some of them are partially wheelchair bound. I think swimming has helped my mobility a lot, like so much. People I know with CMT that are really mobile, they're in the water. But personally, I think the biggest thing has been my mental and spiritual connection, my belief.
Absolutely.
That's really empowered me to continue to just, a lot of times, do some stupid things that I probably should not have done. But that's the beauty of choice, you know? So
Absolutely.
I'm like, nah, that's not an option. She lets it go, believe it or not. Beautiful woman. She lets it go. Whatever, we keep training. So now what was already a long shot of a dream with this new information is like,
right.
This is like Mission Impossible now.
Right.
Like I'm already unknown, unranked, just trying to come onto the scene, building my brand, but it's like, now you can't even.
So did she, when she told you, like, let's start looking in Paralympics, and that was like, hold up, this was never discussed because this isn't even known. It's not physically seen that this is something that's going on.
Right.
Only a few people know about this. Were you guys already looking into para, or were you guys still focusing on just the Olympics?
We were only focused on Olympics. That was it. So like, you know, she had heart. You know, I think that's what you need in any type of party.
Absolutely.
Business, friendship, romantic, gotta have heart. You know what I'm saying?
Sports.
Gotta come to some, if it's the right person and y'all in the same energy, there's no such thing as impossible.
Absolutely.
You feel
Absolutely.
me? So that we had a similar vision in mind. We both had a desire. We both had something to prove. And so it's like, yeah, what's the worst that could happen? We fail? Okay, cool.
Right.
You know, so that's what tied us in.
Right.
Feel me? That's what's got us going. And that is a relationship a lot of athletes have to develop to really be successful, because you got to get people to invest in you when you really don't got shit to invest but heart.
Period. Right.
You feel
Absolutely.
me? So
absolutely.
That was it.
And I just feel like heart shows so much more than physicality and strength and power and, you know, agility and mobility and whatever else, because you're always going to remember someone's heart.
That's it.
So, okay. So when you need to write a book, first of all, I know we talked about this beforehand before we started this, but
I got the same excuse as you. I'm not done living yet.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Document a lot of life to live. And speaking of books, we got a few of them here. You know, now that we're in the book subject, pulling each other along.
Yeah.
How did this one come about?
So this is actually a compilation book. This was the first opportunity I ever had to become a published author. So what's really special about this book is actually not just my story, but 30 other really inspirational, just pretty much unbelievable. I'm talking about Ripley's unbelievable or not, like goosebump stuff. Like, wow, this person did this with this, with this, with this, with this. Dang, like it makes you feel like, of course I don't have any excuse.
Right.
And it feels good to feel that way.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's really the definition of empowerment. And that's it. You don't get anywhere alone. We're pulling each other along. So shout out to Todd Sivan and Doug Cornfield for putting that project together.
Is this out everywhere?
It's out everywhere,
Barnes and Noble.
100%. You look it up.
Now, but Barnes and Noble.
For sure.
All your local bookstores.
Hit that Google search.
Google search, Amazon, all of that, pulling each other along.
Yep.
31 inspirational stories of human kindness. I love that. And this is something that I definitely want to read with the kids as well, too, because...
That's yours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I can't wait to get into this because I just think that's so amazing.
You got to let me sign it for you.
Yeah, yes, please do. Please do. And then children's book.
So this is
Sammy Swims.
Here. Yeah, shout out to Sammy Swims. So Sammy Swims is this, oh my God, it's like this amazing story. But like any story, it's not just about the character, right? It's about the whole world. And so just take a step back. Sammy's character, he's a second grader. He's going back to school and he gets to school, he's excited and comes to find out there's going to be a pool party going on Friday. Guess who can't swim? Sammy can't swim. So now he's embarrassed. He's scared. He's like, oh, they're going to call me a crybaby. Comes home, tells his mom. She's like, wow, that's really tough, Sammy. I'm sorry I didn't teach you how to swim, you know, but hey, this guy is actually going to be coming to your school, this Paralympian, Jamal. He's going to come and he teaches people how to swim, like with bowls and benches and just household items. And Sammy gets excited. He's like, wow, you think he'll teach me? Comes to the auditorium. Hey, Mr. Hill, could you teach me how to swim? Of course, Sammy. So we teach Sammy how to swim. Sammy goes to the pool party, has a blast, big show off. But then he comes home and he tells his mom, hey, Mom, now that I know how to swim, I want you and my sister and grandma, I want you all to learn how to swim too so we can swim together. So That's the story, right? That's who
that.
Sammy is. And what's really awesome about it, this is our main campaign at the Swim Uphill Foundation, where we are teaching 1 million people every year how to swim all around the world. Sammy is going to be going to 100 Southern California elementary schools. Actually starting January 19th. We're going on a 10-week tour. Oh, it's going to be lit. We're going. So
this is a real story.
Oh,
Sammy's a real person as well, too.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of Sammys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids are going to be, we're talking about 25,000 students that are going to be taking home real hard copies of this book. I opened up to the author's page, but like they're going to be taking this home, right? Like, and they're going to be feeling really good. I'm going to come in. Also, I'll be visiting all 100 of these schools.
Oh, that's amazing.
Giving them a message ultimately of swim education, giving them a message of disability awareness, self-acceptance and love, and ultimately a greater tolerance, right?
Absolutely.
What some would just call peace.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk about that. We'll be leaving these hardcover books. Absolutely. It's for the students. It's a gift.
I love that.
At each of these. And the beautiful thing is like it's only for the students in the schools right now.
I love that. So I love the fact that it's for the students. You guys teach the students how to swim. But most importantly, self-acceptance and self-love is very, very essential to have, because if you don't love yourself, child, adult, young adult, becoming adult, how can you give love, receive love if you don't love yourself? Okay. So that's something that I feel like is very essential to teach, especially in the youth. Because like I said, it starts from the upbringing, and whether it's your parents that teach you, a mentor that teaches you, a teacher that teaches you, you have to learn to love yourself. Like that's the main, most important thing. Love yourself, motivation. If you guys get anything out of this, love yourself and just continue to use yourself or whatever it is that you love and have passion for as motivation to just continue to grow.
Amen to that. That's a soundbite. It's good. I like that. No, that's good. You got to start turning these into like just your private stock of soundbites. That's damn good.
Use that as a quote. They have a meme for it later on.
There you go. Listen, it's all got to start somewhere. Shoot. I'm a fan. No, but you nailed it exactly. So that's what will come. But obviously, the mission is greater than just students in the school. So this hard copy book is going to like come alive in person. We're doing a pop-up experience.
That's dope.
That'll be Sammy Swims, and that'll be near the end of the school year. It'll be open to the public, and that's when everyone will be able to get this book and some other merchandise. But in the meantime, we do have soft covers for the people who are just like super itching. They're like, oh, we can't live without bringing Sammy home ASAP. We are going to be offering soft covers on Amazon.
I love that.
So like anyone can have it at home. They can, if their kid isn't at one of these 100 schools, they don't got to wait all the way to summer to still bring Sammy home.
I love that. So make sure you guys check out Sammy Swims on Amazon as well, too. And for everyone that comes on the show.
Talk to me.
So you know how on social media, we let the world perceive us to what we want them to perceive us as or at. What we want to show. So everyone that comes on the show, we play a game so people can get to know you outside of who you are or who you perceive to be on social media, et cetera, et cetera. 2 very toxic games. FYI.
We're actually about to play these games.
Yes, and I'm going to play with you.
For sure.
I'm going to play with you.
All right.
So one is Pick Your Poison, which is a game of Would You Rather. So you get 2 cards. Would you rather do this card or that card?
Okay, that's
Bad choices. Have you ever done this? And then you answer on your own.
Yeah.
Or would you rather book version?
Would you rather? Let's do the Pick Your Poison. That sounds like the most
what?
Middle of the aisle.
It is the worst. But
is it the worst? I don't know, something about bad choices. You want me to highlight all of my bad choices?
This is poisonous.
It's poisonous?
Very much so.
Right, well, look,
very much so.
I'm a public figure. I reserve the right to skip.
Okay. No, I've had like newscasters on here and they were really personal questions and we're like, all right, okay. So we'll do
Raunchy.
2 each. We'll do,
do 2
it's like that.
Well, we're going to shuffle it. You can't pick them for us, right?
No, you picking yours, I pick mine.
Whoa. You picking your own?
No, I'm picking ones to ask you.
Oh,
and then you pick ones to ask me.
Okay, all right, bet. All right,
so you get 4 cards and you pick 2 to go with each other. And then.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. All right, I got my 4 cards.
Okay. These ones aren't that bad.
Oh, these are not that bad at all.
Okay. You want me to go first or you go first?
Oh, mine's like, can I repick mine?
You can go ahead.
Yeah, let me repick mine. Mine's like very just sex driven. Everything is.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of those in
Is
there.
it? All right, for sure. Let's see.
They're all bad. They're all very toxic.
They're all very toxic.
While you're picking, I'm going to ask you.
Okay, for sure.
All right.
Now
First one. Poop a little bit every time you sit down. Every time, not just one time, every time you sit down.
Okay.
Or have your firstborn child grow up to be a terrorist. What you doing, Jamal?
Jesus Christ. See what I mean? You don't have nothing about sex in yours. You have like some real...
What you doing, Jamal?
Or my child grow up to be a terrorist? Grow up to be a terrorist? like 9/11 terrorists?
Like Osama bin Laden.
Like Osama bin Laden terrorists?
Or just a little bit of poop.
A little bit
every
of poop.
day. Every time. Though.
Every time I sit
just
down.
Just a little bit.
Walking around
maybe it could be, what do they call those things? Sharts? Maybe if you just shart a little bit
I sit down
every time. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in the part of the disabled community.
I just a little.
You know what calls me crazy?
Little drop.
I'm gonna have to go for the power of redemption. Quite frankly. I think that no one should have to choose between their child being a terrorist or sharting every single time they sit down. But I think that I could cure terrorism before I could cure an incurable sharting every time you sit down. So I'm gonna bet on humanity. I'm gonna bet on humanity and my love for my son. So
it's gonna subside his terroristic acts.
It's gonna, I think I can
know
save
that's
him.
right.
I think he can be saved. I think he can be saved.
All you the daddy at the end of the day. The child gonna listen to the dad now. God. Over the mom, and that's
now I got
proven
some
point.
fun ones here. Oh, this is savage. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Number 1, suck on a used tampon.
Oof.
Number 2, do everything you can to convince everyone in your life that you have cancer. After a year, tell them you were faking it. Savage.
Oh, that's terrible.
Savage. We already know what you're going to choose. We already know what you're choosing.
You know, it's crazy. I do a lot of charitable work, and I think that is like so like
sick.
Savage and sick.
You got to.
But a tampon?
No, you're not going to. No. You got. Let's see it. What are you saying?
Okay, so I could say that I was lying.
After a year of doing everything you can to make people believe you. I'm talking about the con of cons here.
You talking about the
and it's like your family. We're not even just talking about one person.
That's tough.
Everyone thinks you have cancer, probably that you're dying ASAP.
That's tough.
And after a year of just the most brilliant...
Here's the thing. My question is, does everyone know that I have to... What is it? Suck on a tampon or like eat the tampon?
When you tell them, you can tell them these are my choices. So like after a year, you get to come completely clean. Like, hey, look, I don't have cancer. I know I lied to you for the last year about it.
Nobody's dealing with you after.
You got to understand.
Like nobody's dealing with you.
It was either that or to suck on.
Right. I'm giving an explanation. I'm giving an explanation, but I would feel like shit every day for a year.
You're a beautiful person. This is a foul game.
But it's like, ooh, that's a woo child moment now. That is a woo child.
What are you doing here? It's okay. Nobody's going to judge you.
No, people's going to judge. People's definitely judging. I honestly, if I'm being realistic, I would have to lie about the cancer over just drinking or not even just you said sucking
it's sucking on it like.
And let me tell y'all, I use tampons. All right, a tampon absorbs
getting all
y'all know what absorption is. Absorbs
getting all
blood that is like cleansing from your body. It is not pleasant at all.
That's true.
Neither is cancer.
Nah.
So this is just like two.
But only one of them is real though. Like, one of them is a lie. One of them is real.
Right.
You know?
So I would rather do the lie than the reality. That's just me being 100% honest. Now, living with the fact that I lied to all those people and living with the fact that they got to look at me crazy, I don't even know if that's like even livable to after, you know, sucking on a tampon. If nobody knows about it, who gonna know I sucked on a tampon?
If I could give you one piece of advice, I would say this. If you're going to choose this route, you might as well just go the extra mile, lie a little bit more, and tell everyone, hey, not only did I have a suck on a tampon, but I was never going to be allowed to brush my teeth again a day in my life. And that's why I had to do this. And they'll forgive you. They'll forgive you. You'll get to keep everything.
That's terrible. Terrible.
At that point,
what would you do?
Oh, I'm sucking a tampon.
You sucking the tampon?
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm sucking the tampon for sure. For me?
Oh, man.
I'm like, but again, I like have been in different types of manipulative situations recently, this way, that way. So I'm sensitive to it.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, that was just with like maybe one person. I'm lying to my whole family, like about cancer, like really playing it. And I'm really believable. I'm a great actor. It's dangerous. Sometimes I have to slap my own wrist. Like, no, that's not good. Use your powers for good.
I feel like after maybe a week or two or like 2 months, they're going to be like, all right, girl, you ain't got no cancer. You ain't.
Nah, you're doing everything. You're a believer. I refuse to believe that you could not accomplish anything.
Did the card say you're going through chemo, you're shaving your head bald? You just said you got to tell.
You can to convince them for a whole year. So you're going the whole 9 here. It's like when you're trying to convince someone of anything and influence them, what do? You go the whole 9.
That's true.
So you're in character. For the next year, you cannot break character.
A tampon?
Listen, I chose a tampon. I respect your decision. I respect it. I got some recent traumas. I'm like, nah, give me the tampon. I'll go Dracula on you today. I'll do it. All right, let's see what you got here.
Last but not least, stick your hand in a fryer or change your last name to Hitler.
Damn. Yo, that's wild. Shit. Obviously the fire's on, right? Like we're talking about some severe, like deep frying my hand.
I mean, that's burnt off.
Damn, yeah, like I love my hand. Or like my name and reputation. Honestly, yeah, what am I talking about? Fuck it. The Hill's name is worth way more than a left hand. I'm doing the off hand in the fryer. Done. Easy. Ooh. I don't even know I hesitated. I'm sorry, ancestors. One for the team. Done. Hill? We're going to trade a Hill for Hitler so I can keep a left hand? That's the problem with the youth today. They don't know nothing about what?
Real pain.
Come on now.
Real pain.
Talking about legacy, talking about
No, that and I honestly feel like, especially with men more so than women, I feel like legacy is very important to men.
True.
Very important. Carrying that last name and growing that legacy is very, very, very important.
The internet would chew me alive. Be like, can you believe he chose to be Hitler? Selfish motherfucker.
Oh, they really gonna think I'm selfish with the whole cancer thing.
You good. Cancer is way better than Hitler. Like, Hitler is like...
Hitler's bad.
Everyone has agreed that Hitler is the devil. Yeah. Like, if you want to embody the devil, but like still have a hint of humanity, say Hitler.
Not even a hint of humanity. Humanity for your kind solely.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, for your kind solely. That's it.
Like, literally is a human being, though.
Right.
The physical embodiment of flesh and blood.
Right. All right, give me the last one. Give me the last one.
All right, here we go. Well, I don't want to, let's see. You got 2 good ones. Does everyone just like start randomly looking for the most?
Oh no, we usually just grab and it'd be very vicious sometimes. Like I've had some crazy cards.
Savage.
Crazy cards. Like I don't feel like I've done this so long. I don't even feel like I get embarrassed anymore. Like I've more so judged than embarrassed to answer. Funny. Like I'm like, oh, they're gonna judge me if I say this, but they're gonna judge me regardless anyway. So
all right, here we go.
It is what it is.
These are the 2 options.
At the end of the day, guys, it's a game. It's solely a game, and your choices are made for you. It's not like you would choose them on your own.
But I may come to your home and force you to choose. So. Choose wisely. Here we go.
Okay.
2 choices. Number 1, have the number of days since you've last had sex displayed on your forehead. maybe not that bad.
Not that bad.
But it's pretty much a face tattoo of a number.
Oh, so you're tatting it on.
So maybe you always have a 0 on your head. Like, it's just spit on your forehead. Every day. It's pretty much a face tat.
Okay. But what if it changes? Like, what if you have sex and then...
Yeah.
So you're just redoing
it'll be like
your...
either 0 or 1 or 2.
So you're tatting your forehead every day?
I don't know. It's like the future. So it's in your skin. It just shows up.
Okay.
It's a branding.
Okay.
Right in the center, though. Get that image.
Dab in the middle.
Or you have to constantly think about squeezing your butthole. If you lose focus, you poop everywhere.
That's what the card says?
That's what Yo!
I'm like, is that what the card says? Why couldn't it have just stopped at the squeezing the butthole? Like, why does it have to say?
This is what the card says. Just like, it does not say that.
So if you stop squeezing your butthole. If you stop
focusing on squeezing your butthole.
You just poo everywhere. So what's the other card? The sex on the forehead?
Yeah, you just got a big face tat. That's an easy one.
Nah, I'm not boo-booing everywhere. I'd rather... Yeah.
You got a powerful mind. You can concentrate at all times.
Yeah, you can. But how long are you going to be clenching down there? 24/7? That booty muscle going to be strong as hell.
That's really what's crazy. See, I wanted to give you like a nice... fun, easy one to wrap it up. People won't completely forget about your cancer thing now. Don't worry.
Now that you brought it up, they're going to forget and they're going to remember again. No, but I you know what? I mean, I would just, Yeah. Other card.
That's all.
Not the
good choice. Good choice. That was fun. Actually.
That's pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
So tell everybody where they could find you, all the good stuff you got coming up, the events, the schools, the tour, the books.
Yeah.
Fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we are going on tour with Sammy Swim, the Swim Uphill Foundation. I always say we, because whether you're putting in 1%, 18%, or 85%, it takes all of us, can't be done without anyone. So there's a number of ways to support this, a number of ways to come on tour with us to these 100 schools, to volunteer, to donate, to put your money where your mouth, put your money next to my money. You feel me? Because it's all in. Everything that we do is pretty much grassroots, you know, and any partners that come to the table are expected to take it as serious as we do.
Absolutely.
We're ending drowning. I think drowning is stupid, quite frankly. And I think that we can end drowning without like upsetting the global elites. You know?
Absolutely.
When you start trying to take care of world hunger and like, man, it gets sticky. That's another conversation another time, but it's like, we can agree. We can teach everybody how to swim. That's not gonna, you know?
Absolutely.
So there you go. We'll teach a bunch of people prevention. 100% education is the best prevention, right? So there's that. Other than that, obviously, like fashion, shout out to Zara. Zara pretty much always keeps me decked out in the nicest fits, you know? So
come on, Zara sponsorship. I'm here too.
There you go. So,
shameless plug.
No, it's no shame at all. They love fashion. This is a fashion woman.
Absolutely.
Please call her. Email her people. So shout out to you guys. Thank you. Love you. And then, just connect with me. Swim Uphill. Swim Uphill, all one word, Jamal Hill. It's a really cool name, Swim Uphill. You'll remember it forever now. You can Google that. That's the easiest way. If you want to connect with me personally, shoot me a DM. And then, you know, if you reach out to my team, anything like that, you're going to have to like call. And then you're going to have to email or DM me. So just email or DM me, skip a step. It'll be super easy.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Swim Uphill, you find me, you find the foundation, you find the cure to drowning. So it's really kind of like a no-brainer at this point.
Absolutely. I love your spirit. Thank you so much for coming on the show. For all of you guys, you know where to find him. He just told you. Swim Uphill. Hit him up directly. And if he don't answer his DMs, hit me up so I could tell him to hit you up.
There you go. She will tell me.
And that is it for TELLI Talks. And thank you so much to Who Has It for sponsoring this episode.